I was a good officer, straight down the line. And then I met her. I'd never met anyone like her. She was quiet, gentle, and I loved her. And she loved me too. Oh, there was no pressure. There was no need. Then they killed her. I've been looking for someone like that ever since. There's no one. There's nothing left but the scum like the ones who killed her. I thought for a while that perhaps you...
I'm going out on probation. I'm going to live at the halfway house now.
Well, Susie's living at that halfway house. Now, I'm going to get every prisoner who leaves here to check you out. And if you so much as give her a headache powder, I'll break your bloody neck.
I'd like to see Mrs. Davidson, please.
What about?
I'd like to lay a formal complaint about one of the officers.
Well, which one of us this time?
Officer Ferguson.
Who else? Now, come on, you didn't get very far last time.
This time it's different. This time I've got witnesses. Lots of them.
Where did you hear about this, Simpson?
Maxine Daniels told me.
Oh, well, I wouldn't say that was the most reliable source of information.
But Miss Ferguson admitted it. She told me she was having an affair with this woman who was killed in an accident. She thought that Maxine and her friends were involved, and she went berserk and bashed them. A couple of them were in hospital for weeks after, apparently.
Wait outside, Simpson. What do you think, Mrs. Powell?
Well, it doesn't surprise me. As you know, I have my doubts about Joan. But that bit about the woman's accidental death, that doesn't ring true. If anything, I'd be more inclined to think that the other women ganged up on her. And I do not believe that Joan Ferguson admitted to anything.
No, I agree. But if what you say is true, it could account for Simpson's obvious distress. Maybe she thinks she could suffer the same fate. I'll have to verify the story.
How are you going to do that? Joan's record's obviously clean. I doubt whether the department have a confidential file on her.
Well, even if they have, I doubt they'd let me see it. Mr. Douglas seems determined not to stir up a hornet's nest. No, I shall ring up the governor in Queensland myself and check it out. If it's true, we can't risk keeping her here.
We've got a new guest.
Hi, Suze.
Hi. Inspector Grace stood up for Dawn in the courts today. She got out on probation, provided that she stays with us for a while.
Oh. Susie, I know that you and Donna have had your differences, but it's very important to the house that she stays here with us. If we can help her to stay on the straight and narrow, the courts might send other women here instead of sending them to jail.
Oh, I suppose she'll be sharing with me then.
I don't know about that.
There aren't any other rooms ready. It's either yours or mine. It's all the same to me. Come on, Donna, I'll show you where it is.
I'm not so sure this is a good idea.
Oh, I think Susie's learned a lesson. She's a smart kid. I don't think she'll let Mason lead her into anything again.
Yeah, well, she certainly won't if I have anything to do with it. Oh, by the way, thanks very much for sticking up for me in court today. I really appreciate it.
No thanks are needed. I didn't want her going back to Wentworth. She'd be no bloody good to me there.
Yeah, I bet she wouldn't be.
Well, you know me, Bryant. I don't do anything for nothing. She gave a lot of evidence this morning, little Miss Mason, and a lot of people are going to be stirred up. They'll be sharpening their knives for her, I should think.
You set her up deliberately.
Well, you could say I'm just using her to bait a trap, that's all. Look, there'll be nothing to worry about. No danger for anyone here. I'll have a car outside with 2 guys in it 24 hours of the day. I've just got to see what comes out of the woodwork, that's all.
No way. I'm not having any cops sniffing around this place all the time.
No one's going to know that they're coppers. Besides, you've got no choice.
Oh, haven't I? I run this place, remember? All I've got to do is throw Donna out of here. She'll lose her probation and end up back inside like that.
Oh, I don't think you'll do that, Bryant. After all, you want the courts to send other people here, don't you, as an alternative to prison?
She is not the only guest. I've got lots of women to consider, or I will have soon enough.
Well, I'm sorry about that, but I've got to keep the place under police surveillance.
Well, I'm sorry too, Inspector, but you're not.
It's a bit of a swap, isn't it, me moving into your room?
Yeah.
And it's not exactly the Hilton here either, is it?
No.
I didn't want it to be like this, Susie. Honest, I didn't.
Didn't you?
Of course not. I didn't invite you to my place so you'd go in the game, you know that. It was Des. As soon as he saw you, the dollar signs lit up in his eyes, and that was it. He had me over a barrel, Suze. He had the drugs coming in, and I had to do what he said. You don't know what it's like when you're hooked. You'd sell your own mother for a fix. Anyway, that's all behind me now, according to the magistrate. All I've got to do is go to one of them drug referral places, and they dry you out in 6 months. I'll be a normal human being again, eh? Unless I go bloody mad first.
You know, I'm sorry that Maxine's gone. She was a real hoot, that run.
Yeah, hysterical. Just bloody lucky I never caught her doing a deal with Ferguson. Oh, Mrs. M. Any news of our Donna?
I haven't heard anything.
Well, she better not bugger up the halfway house.
Oh, you sound sorry that she got out.
No. Well, makes perfect sense to me. Let's throw her back on the street so she can pump some more of that garbage into herself. At least in here, she'd a chance of getting off it.
Hey, B, want to come and sit here?
What for? That's my table.
Yeah, but Hannah's got a real good story to tell us about Maxie and the freak.
I'm all ears.
There's no truth in it at all, Governor. And as for my confessing to her, I've never heard anything so ridiculous. I know my job better than to have heart-to-heart conversations with prisoners.
Of course. But you did know Maxine Daniels in Queensland, didn't you?
Yes, I knew her. She and her cronies caused more trouble in Bogger Road than all the other inmates put together. I don't think there was one officer that they didn't try to discredit.
I see. You realise I will have to check this story for myself.
Of course. But you won't find a word about it on my file.
I know, but for my own peace of mind, I'm checking with the governor up there. I'm expecting him to ring me back tomorrow morning.
Good. I'm sure he'll be able to reassure you, Governor.
Thank you. That will be all. Oh, Miss Ferguson. I would appreciate it if you kept your distance from Hannah Simpson.
Very well.
What do you reckon they'll do to Fergo then, babe? You think they'll get rid of her?
Oh, Davo's pretty fair, and she doesn't like her officers playing up. I wouldn't be surprised if Ferguson just disappeared.
Fancy Maxie knowing all about it and not telling us.
Well, you could look after number one, and she wasn't exactly one of us, was she?
No, I suppose not.
Want a word with you, Simpson?
I've got nothing to say to you now. Let me go. Hey, what's going on?
I wasn't talking to you, Smith. Get moving.
Why? So you can take Hannah to some dark corner and bash her like you did Chrissy.
Warning you, Smith. Get moving, the lot of you.
Whatever you've got to say to me, you can say in front of them.
I'll decide that. Get your filthy hands off me.
We're staying right here, Ferguson. And you had better stay where we can see you. Because if you don't, we'll scream our tits off. And we'll do the same if you lay one hand on Hannah.
You stupid little bitch. Why did you tell the governor?
What's the matter, Miss Ferguson? Your past finally catching up with you?
You don't think for 1 minute she believed you, do you? Oh, you don't know when you're well off. You won't always have that bunch of cretins around to protect you.
This is worse than going for the bloody doll.
I'm sorry, but we've got to keep records for the PRG. They've got to know who's coming in and going out of this place. Now, let's see here. You got any medical problems? Serious illnesses, something like that?
Oh, yeah, I'm a junkie.